6 minutes after the hour, we are going to be bringing you news, views, things to choose, nothing to lose. Kick off your shoes. Don't get the blues. Here comes the news. And, oh, by the way, you can give us a call, 585-966-JAZZ. That's 966-5299. Toll free 1-800-790-0415. On Tuesday, after a 38-day delay, Microsoft re-released its fall operating system feature upgrade, the Windows 10 October 2018 update. The more than a month delay had no precedent in Windows 10, something Microsoft acknowledged, and it lasted significantly longer than instances in earlier editions when update security fixes for the most part had to be pulled and then later re-released. For the most part, Microsoft has not begun serving the upgrade to PCs accessing Windows Update, the consumer and small business update service. Commercial customers running Windows 10 Enterprise can deploy the renewed 1809 immediately, most likely for limited testing, using a host of corporate tools. Microsoft also reset the release date for Windows 10 1809. Microsoft names feature upgrades using a YYNM year-month format. 1809 should have been September of 2018, and shifted end-of-support deadlines to accommodate. Microsoft did not apologize for the problem that forced it to yank the upgrade off servers 5.5 weeks ago. The initial 1809 harbored several bugs, two involving errant file deletions, one of which erased all the files in a set of user content folders. They also didn't mention why it took so long to correct the problem, explain how the flaw made it through testing, or spell out how it overlooked the bugs when testers reported it starting months ago. That's right. Months ago, testers reported all of these bugs. Microsoft released the upgrade anyway. Microsoft did spend considerable effort talking about its testing procedures, promising more transparency about how it approaches QA, and defending Windows quality. Microsoft also admitted that it had gotten an earful, then swore things would improve. While we do see positive trends, we also hear clearly the voices of our users who are facing frustrating issues, and we pledge to do more. Also, people are angry that they don't have a single place where they can look at bugs, fixes, changes, issues, etc. A dashboard. Microsoft says they're working on it. We've also heard grumbling, but no loud screams of outrage about this month's roll-up and cumulative updates, but it's early days. We still say, wait. Our poll of the week at soundbytes.org, that is Bytes with a Y, Francis would like us to remind you, is Microsoft has reissued Windows 10 1809. Your choices are, at last. I'll wait, thanks. No, just no. And get a real OS. So far, we've got 29 votes. A real OS is a little more than half of them. Get a real OS. Followed by I'll wait, followed by at last, followed by no, just no. Now, I know you'll have more to say about this because I know you. And so if you scroll down on the right under fascinating stuff, you will see the forums. The second forum down is the poll discussion. Currently, at least, the first item under poll discussion is 17 November 18. Microsoft has reissued Win 10 1809. And you can join well, so far there isn't a discussion there, but you can join in, you can create the discussion and or then join in on it. And of course, you can give us a call, 585-966-JAZZ. It's 966-5299, toll free, 1-800-790-0415.
I like how they said they're going to change their bug reporting for the beta testers to now have a severity. So apparently enough people reported the deleted file thing, but there was no way to say it was a severe bug.
Right.
We don't care. We lost your files.
Yeah. Right. It's not. It's not enough for us to worry about. You know, so
and they're probably playing the percentages, like you were reporting there. That there was issues in that, but they went ahead and did it anyways. Yeah, well, because they're figuring the millions of people out there that are going to get the update. And
it'd be very rare to actually have the problem.
Yeah,
I did read a sort of detailed analysis of what happened, and even that struck me as odd. During the upgrade process, Microsoft removes all of your user folders.
Right.
Upgrades Windows, moves your user folders back, and then deletes the temporary location.
Right.
That move your user folder back step got skipped.
Yeah.
And then it deletes the temporary location that had all your files in it.
Yep.
Oops.
And you're
So
right.
Why move your stuff anywhere? Leave it where it is.
Yeah,
you're right.
OS in.
No, I get it, but you're right. It might just be a percentage. Let's say 200 people do the testing. 10% of them, right? 20 people have a problem. 20 people is not a lot of problem.
No.
Big deal. But then you multiply that by 100 million.
Yeah.
Now you've got a real problem.
That might have an impact.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, Microsoft has not done well in terms of, for the last year, Microsoft has not done a good job in updates. And yet, of course, they're still moving to
That's just adding to the list of other stuff they don't do right.
Well, right. But you know, that's just, and of course, they're continuing to move toward Windows as a service, where you just rent Windows. And if you stop paying for it, everything stops working. But people, I think, will be less inclined to accept Windows as a service when that service, every time you update it, gets screwed up.
Well, I'm hoping they're making it more modular,
Right.
so that they can add a feature in a module and then update just that one little piece and not have to do this giant 1809 that changes 100 things.
Right, and that's the way Linux works.
Yeah.
And that's the way the
most code does. It's usually built in
Windows
good
doesn't.
programming. Well,
right.
Good programming.
Good programming.
Well, it's not. It's also not necessarily the way that the Mac OS works. It's the way Mach works underneath. But not the way the Mac overlay works. But you're right. It's the way good code should work. It's the way Linux works. So when I upgrade something, unless it's a kernel change,
which is rare.
Which is very rare. I can do that in the background. So I'm sitting there working on, for example, let's say I'm in Chrome on my Linux box. Unless the update is a Chrome update, I don't even have to shut down Chrome. And unless it's a kernel update, I don't have to reboot. So it says, oh, you've got an update. What's updating? The video drivers, anything, name it, anything.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, knock yourself out.
Do it.
Happens in the background while I continue working. When I'm done, it says, you're upgraded. Boom, I'm finished. If I want to reboot, certainly I can. I don't have to.
There was a picture on Security Now a couple of weeks ago. Someone had pointed out the Coke machines, or Pepsi, I'm not sure which one, on the campus. We're all now digital.
Right.
RIT has them too, I've seen. So you can use your student ID card as money.
Yep.
Against your account, and you can order a beverage on your phone, and it will be there, pop out of the machine when you put your phone up next to it. Apparently, it was doing an update, and stuck downloading updates, and so no one could get their beverages. And so the point was, well, why don't you download in the background, and then when no one's using it, reboot?
Right.
Why are you saying downloading? And there was apparently a timer. I'm trying to find the actual picture. There was a timer on the screen, and it was an hour and a half remaining to download. Really? So that means it's got crappy internet.
Yeah. Right?
But, so download it in the background. Let the machine work in the foreground so that you don't have to kill it. How many sales did you lose?
If you're on a student campus, if you're in a classroom building, those buildings are usually shut down by midnight.
Yeah.
Right. So if you and even if they're not, even if you're in a dorm, I don't care where it is. Let's say 2 o'clock in the morning. Everybody knows the Coke machine reboots at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 5 to 2. I'll wait another 10 minutes to get my soda. It's ridiculous. It's just crappy programming, crappy program management, crappy system management. I'm sorry. It offends me professionally when system administration is done so badly. Yeah. Microsoft, I'm looking at you.
Well, I got into a discussion with a person about Windows Defender. And they're going on, oh, no, that's great. I can use that, and I can rely on that. That's got my machine protected. I go, no, it doesn't.
Well, there was.
He goes, yes, it does. It's on there and it's updating. And every time Microsoft updates it, I said, yeah. Did you check when the last time it updated the actual file to, check against spyware and all that? No, I just assumed it's doing it in the background. No. Yeah, it does it probably in the background, but it's not daily. Maybe every couple of months. Oh, no. You're totally wrong. So, all right, well, check it. Let me know tomorrow.
There was a recent...
I'm sorry, but he came in the next day. What were those other 2 programs you recommended?
There was a recent study, and again, they talked about it on GRC, where a company tested all the different antivirus programs, and among the top 10, very marginal difference between them. Right. And the Microsoft Security Essentials was among the top 10. And so Gibson's point was that that's already built into the OS. They have the low-level hooks they need. It's not an add-on like, third-party antivirus that has to try to hook the OS. So that's probably safest, but you still need to run that anti-malware because viruses themselves are sort of on a downturn. So you need to run that external anti-malware. Yeah. But for a lot of people, the Microsoft Security Essentials is enough.
When's the last time you've seen an actual virus?
Yeah.
Well, the problem is not that there are new ones coming out. The problem is the old ones are lingering around for 20 years.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, though, is if you've got an antivirus software on your machine, you can just about forget it.
Right. As long as it's running.
Yeah, as long as that's running. I haven't seen a machine attacked by a virus.
Right.
I'll bet you in at least 2-3 years. Now, spyware and malware, oh, forget that.
Yeah, that's everywhere.
That's, you just turn it on, click the product to start running, say like Super Anti-Spyware, and just walk away because it's going to run for a while, and you just watch that keep counting up, to a few thousand items that it finds.
There's a new type of bad guy that is counting on the fact that people don't apply patches.
Right.
And the last couple of botnets that were discovered were MikroTik routers, D-Link routers that had been patched years ago. The patch was released years ago.
Right.
And never installed, so they're able to in a day commandeer 100,000 routers because their owners never updated the patch. So there has to be a way. And right now there's a fight in the law. There has to be a way for especially routers, to auto-update themselves because that's your point on the internet. But once you buy the router, the company can't come in and make any changes because they don't own it anymore. So that's against the law for them to change a device they don't own. So we are seeing now a lot of the new routers, in the terms of service that you agree to, you don't read it, but you still agree to it, that they're allowed to come in and do updates. Because even when they notify you there's an update, we see that all the time on the Apple routers. Well, part of the problem is it blinks yellow to notify you there's an update. Everyone ignores the yellow blinking and just keeps going until it stops working. But even when you're notified there's an update, you still don't install it. So they have to be able to come in and install those updates, install the bug fixes. And in fact, there was an episode of Security Now they called Good Samaritan. There's a person that is writing a sort of a gray worm that will go through and fix the MikroTik routers that got lost in a breach. And so they're putting in the firewall rules that block people from getting in. So he's basically fixing the problem. Right. He's technically doing it illegally because he doesn't have permission.
Right.
But he's doing a good service.
Right.
But it's illegal.
Yeah.
So it's
well, and
it's
to that
hard.
point, just this week, they found a 5-year-old universal plug-and-play bug in Broadcom chips and discovered a botnet running 100,000 home routers.
Yep.
And pretty much every single brand of router. So if you haven't upgraded your router this week, now might be the time to check.
Yep.
To make sure you're not part of that.
And in addition to routers, they're also grabbing DVRs because a lot of DVRs let you watch your content when you're not at home, so they have an internet connection.
Right.
Badly written IoT devices. You buy that cheap security camera for $30. There's no security on it.
No.
And I actually heard a story where someone returned a security camera. Someone else bought it.
Oh, it was still hooked up to their network?
It was still hooked up to the other account.
Yeah.
And so the new owner started getting could access the videos from the previous owner's account.
Yeah.
And the serial number was plain text in the URL. So he figured out he could just put in a different serial number in the URL and could see anybody's camera. No security on the camera at all.
Wow.
So,
Unbelievable.
be careful of those home security cameras that everyone's getting now that are too cheap, because there's no updates. They sell it to you, and that's the end of it.
Oh, going off track a little bit here. I was thinking of you, Nick.
Did
you see that newest app, Robo Killer?
I did. I heard about it. I haven't looked at it.
That looks really slick.
Yeah, it does.
In that you can have fun in our warped sense of way.
Right.
Getting back at the folks that are doing all these robocalls. And I'm just getting so sick and tired. Because, now they... I don't answer them anyways. If the name doesn't pop up, that means it's not in my contact list. And let it go to voicemail.
Yeah,
because
I've just stopped answering my phone.
Yeah, well, if I don't see that it's a number that I know, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I just let it go to voicemail.
So many of them are coming up as 585.
Yep.
Because they're scamming it and making it look like they're in New York when they're really not. And yeah, let it go to the voice. And 99% of the time they don't, and I go ahead and mark it as spam. But I was looking at that app, and it's like,
and
I might have to
some of the
just
spammers,
play with it.
Yeah, some of the spammers also use local exchanges. So you think, and some of them just use a real phone number, someone else's phone number. And we've heard from our customers that they get phone calls saying, "Why are you robocalling me?"
Right.
Well, I'm not. Someone just grabbed your phone number.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
To go back to the router thing, if you're using a Broadcom, Asus, Cisco, TP-Link, Zyxel, D-Link, Netgear, US Robotics, there are 116 different routers. I'm not going to name them all, but those are the most common ones. If you have a router, hint, you do. You should check to see if there's an update. What?
Does that have a name?
The botnet is called BCMUPNP_Hunter.
So it's a hunter, so it's good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't think it equates that way.
Right. It's but yeah, it's pretty widespread, and you could be part. If you've been wondering that your internet service has been getting a little slow, it may not be anything except that your router is serving this botnet and taking up, your bandwidth, and so you have less that you can use. So.
And it doesn't hurt every so often, folks, because some of them might do the updates, but they don't always restart. To get in the habit of every couple of weeks, just go down, shut the thing off. Let everybody know in the house that you're shutting off the router for a moment, taking down the network. Shut it off, count to 10, and then turn it back on.
Well, yes, and most routers, you may, and I hope you're sitting down, you may have to look in your manual, but most routers have a built-in web server. Mm-hmm. So you can, from your web browser, go to the address in your manual, type in the username and password in your manual, change the password, and then, again, each one is a little different, but there's an administrative console. One of the things that you'll find is a button that says check for update. You should click that and make sure that you actually check for an update, and plan on doing that every month.
Yeah. It wouldn't hurt just to, just put it on your calendar as a reminder.
Well, and that was why a couple of months ago, the FBI and Homeland Security was telling everyone to reboot their routers, because there was a botnet that was getting into routers that couldn't survive a reboot. So just rebooting would flush it out until you got infected again. So it's reboot, run your update, and reboot.
See, that's why I always tell folks to shut it off.
Yeah.
That rebooting can still, sometimes depending on the code, still hold up in memory. But by shutting it off, that totally flushes memory.
Yeah.
Well,
with most routers, you have to go into the web interface to do a reboot. So the easier thing is just pull the plug, which does shut it off.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But when you do that, you also want to leave it off for 10 to 15 seconds. And there's two reasons for that. One is to make sure that the memory drains.
Yep.
That the electricity drains out of the memory. And two is that you don't want to cycle it too fast, because that can damage the power supply.
Yeah.
So when you do turn it off, pull the plug, Wait 10 to 15 seconds. That will be the longest 10 to 15 seconds of your day, by the way.
That's why I always tell
plug
folks,
it back in.
Just count to 10 slowly.
Mm-hmm. And we sometimes say turn things off overnight just to let them rest. Doesn't make any sense, but it works. So before you go to bed, unplug your router. And then when you get up in the morning, plug it back in. If your kid gets up early, tell them to read a book. Clean his room. Do the dishes.
But Dad, I can't download a new book.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Oops.
I hate when I get to the end of the series and it says continued in book 27, which is out in 6 months.
Right. And then you put yourself on a list to be reminded of book 27 when it comes out. And then about a month and a half later, you think, am I on that list? So you sign up again.
Yep.
The struggle is real, sheeple.
Yeah.
Speaking of calendars and important dates, on Thursday, we had a very important date. Thursday, November 15th, 1971, Intel introduced its first 4-bit microprocessor, the 4004, 1971. Ooh. And on that same date, a year later, its first 8-bit microprocessor, the 8008.
Apparently, there was a huge Grateful Dead concert that day, too. That is interfering with finding the Intel announcement.
Right.
Have to go all the way to the bottom of the page.
Priorities.
Yeah.
Priorities.
But it's Google. It should know. I'm not into the Grateful Dead. Intel's more.
So you put in the date and didn't think to put in Intel?
No.
Whoops.
It's Google. It should know. I would prefer Intel over Grateful Dead. Actually, if something
it's
big
Intel, not the great Karnak.
Right. Although, if something big at Apple had happened, it probably would have found it.
But yeah, so definitely happy birthday to all of us.
Was it made out of wood?
Yeah, it was made out of wood. Yeah. Can we find somebody else to sit there? Just okay. It's made out of wood. But yes, it was 1971, November 15th.
It means it floats.
It's what?
It floats.
It floats. It's made out of wood. It's not a witch. Or it is a witch. Wait, I forget now.
I know some people have an anti-swear jar. We need an anti-python jar.
It would be stuffed every single day. All right, we're going to take a break because heaven knows I need it. We'll be back in just a moment or two with Dave Enright, Steve Ray, me, Nick Francesco, and you. It's 29 minutes after the hour. It's Sound Bytes. It's member-supported Jazz 90.1.
It's America's longest-running computer show. Back to more Sound Bytes with Nick, Dave, and Steve. Next on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
The success of any business depends on its ability to offer value, a great quality product or service for the right price. Businesses themselves need to get value for the things they need as well. As an underwriter of Jazz 90.1, you can get the word out about your business, what you do, where you are, and how to reach you. Underwriting messages are straightforward, simple, and easy to remember. Underwriting at Jazz 90.1 is a great way to promote your business while supporting public jazz radio. For more information, call the Jazz 90.1 business office at 966-2660 today.
Spread the word. The program that keeps you connected to the latest and greatest in jazz is on your radio.
That's right. Each week on the Cool Jazz Countdown, we're taking you inside the music with our new music features and our On the Line segment.
So join us, Marcellus Shepard, the bass man,
and me, Kyle LaRue, for the Cool Jazz Countdown.
Mondays at 6 a.m. on Jazz 90.1.
Jazz 90.1 is supported in part by our members and by Arbor at the Port, Saturday, December 1st at 7 p.m. Arbor at the Port is teaming up with the Eastman Jazz Lab Band and Groove Juice Swing for a Winter Caper, a night of swing, big band music, and pre-prohibition cocktails, featuring a 17-piece big band. For more information, you may visit arborvenues.com/Winter Caper.
Do you want to learn more about the Greece Central School District's Reimagine Greece Capital Project proposal? Join district leaders for a community information meeting on November 15th in the Arcadia Middle School cafeteria. The meeting is open to the public and begins at 6:30 p.m. Reimagine Greece would bring repairs and renovations to all 17 school buildings, fund the construction of a new shared facility for transportation and support services, and upgrade athletic facilities. We hope to see you November 15th, and don't forget to vote on December 4th.
Jazz 90.1 is supported in part by our members and by Greece Odyssey Academy Music and Drama, presenting the Greece premiere of Disney's Aladdin Jr. at the Odyssey Academy Auditorium, 750 Maiden Lane. There are performances on Saturday, November 17th at 3 and 7 p.m., as well as a 2 o'clock matinee performance on Sunday, November 18th. Advance sale tickets are available at Wegmans or online at showtixforyou.com, and tickets can also be purchased at the door.
Follow Jazz 90.1 on Facebook at facebook.com/Jazz901FM.
Want better vision? How about squishing your eyeballs? This is Sandra Tsinglow with the Lowdown on Science. Eye shape is the key to perfect vision, but most of us have eyes as wonky as a Picasso portrait. LASIK eye surgery fixes vision by reshaping the eye's lens and by blasting bits of your eye off with a laser. Scary. The Vucolic group from Colombia hoped to find a gentler way to reshape the eye. Their big break came while blasting pig eyeballs with lasers. They found that with the right amount of power, the eye would morph. The laser linked together fibers that make up the lens. It squished the eye into shape without removing anything. But did this damage the eyes? To find out, the researchers took nearsighted bunnies and lasered their eyes. Did their lenses send light to the right place? Yes, they made 20/20 bunnies. So perfect vision could be in sight. What other problems could be solved by squishing? Maybe love handles?
The Lowdown on Science is produced by LDOS Media Lab in partnership with the University of California Irvine Science Communications and 89.3 KPCC. On the web at LOHDOWNonscience.org.
This is Sandra. Follow us on Twitter at LOHDOWN.
These days, it's easy to have information overload. Sometimes I just want to kick back, hear my favorite music and the news that affects me. That's why I stay tuned into my local radio station. When important news happens in my part of town, I hear it from them first. For the best entertainment, sports, news, weather, and traffic, anytime, anywhere, I stay local. Support your local stations. Text RADIO to 52886. Furnished by the NAB and this station. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
I'm a veteran. We hit a mine in Vietnam.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My victory's been never giving up hope.
DAV helps veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I finally admitted, with my PTSD, I wasn't doing well.
So veterans can reach victories, great and small.
Now I wish I'd found DAV sooner. My victory is just enjoying each day.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Here's the latest Jazz 90.1 weather forecast.
A fairly quiet Saturday across Rochester, western New York, and the Finger Lakes, with a mostly cloudy sky. Could see a few snow flurries developing, especially into the latter part of the afternoon, mainly southwest of Rochester. The high temperature in the upper 30s. Tonight's cloudy, with a shower of rain or wet snow around early on, the overnight low in the mid-20s. We'll look for a mostly cloudy sky on Sunday as well. A little bit chillier, the wind out of the west, with a flurry or two around, the high in the mid-30s. I'm meteorologist Josh Nichols for Jazz 90.1.
And currently we've got overcast skies, 36 degrees out at the airport and 38 here at member-supported Jazz 90.1.
This is Mike Velasquez. Join me every Monday from 8 p.m. to midnight on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Nick Francesco.
I'm Devin Wright.
Devin Wright? And I'm Steve Ray.
There you go.
I get Dave all the time when I say, hi, I'm Steve. They skip the first syllable and only hear the second syllable.
Oh, yeah. The V. Right. At 36 minutes after the hour, we are set. Before we get to the phones, We talked about RoboKiller. A couple things about it I'm not that big a fan of. It costs $1 a month, which is not a big deal, but it needs access to all your contact lists.
Yeah.
And then it also needs your Verizon, T-Mobile, or AT&T service information.
Well, yeah, it's basically answering your phone calls for you.
Right.
So it has to have all that.
Well, it's got to know the contacts because if in your contacts you want those folks to get through.
Yes, but you have to decide whether or not that's something you're willing to.
And you got to hope they're
yeah, that's why I say I got to do a little more looking into it. But
right.
It kind of tweaked my interest. Something different to just check out. And
exactly right.
See what's out there because it's becoming more and more of an issue. Of these stupid robocalls, and they don't care,
I don't answer the phone unless it's somebody I know.
Yeah, same here. Don't pop up on my screen.
I'm in the process of giving everyone I know a different ringtone.
Oh, cool.
So if I get the one ringtone, I don't even bother to answer it. If I get the other ringtone, I may set my... Now, there's an idea. Once I get everybody I know on a different ringtone, then I can set my main ringtone to silent.
Or just a funky one.
Silent. I don't even want to hear it. I don't even want to know.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good one.
Then I don't even know. All right, to the phones. Yeah. Robin, our first caller is Ed from Ithaca, New York. Hi, Ed. What's up?
Hi, guys. This is not a spam robocall.
Sure you say that now.
If you really believe me, well, okay.
Beep. Call again next week.
I have an older laptop, Windows 10, updated to Windows 10, that recently when I went to open it, we can't sign into your account. The problem can be fixed by signing out and then signing in. If you don't sign out, files created or changed will be lost. So I sign out, it shuts down. I restart, it gets the same message. It still has all of my programs on the desktop, but it doesn't have my files. Any idea what went wrong and how to correct it?
First, hi, how are you? Are you connected to the internet?
Yes.
Okay. And the only error message was, say the error message again, please.
It says we can't sign into your account. The problem can often be fixed by signing out of your account and then signing back in. If you don't sign out now, files created or changes made will be lost. And then it gives the option of signing out or closing that. If I sign out, it shuts down, and when I restart it, I get the same message. If I say close, then it gives me a desktop with all of my old programs on it, the malware, Bytes, etc. But none of my folders.
Interesting. All right, so here's...
And it says it created a different account for me.
Right. So one of the things a couple of things to try.
Yeah.
The simple things first. Make sure it's the right password. Make sure it's the right user ID. Make sure you don't have your caps lock on.
Right. No, I was able to log in. I have to log in with my password every time.
Right. I'm just saying this since you now can't check those things.
Oh, okay.
Right. Particularly the caps lock.
Well, I don't have to log in. I mean, this happens after I log in.
Okay. Right. So the other thing to do is to using...
do you have a Microsoft account tied to your local account? Maybe it's trying to log into the Microsoft account. And it can't, and it's not the local account.
Know of.
Right. But one of the things that you can try to do is go to open up once you get in, obviously now on you're essentially a different user.
Right.
Go to one of the Microsoft pages like live.com or somewhere else and log into there using your Windows, your Microsoft username and password.
Okay. If I have one.
Well, yeah, if you have one and see what's there, but the problem sounds like no. What it sounds like is what Steve is saying. It's trying to log into Microsoft, not to your local system. When you go to log in, what do you see? Do you see username and password, or do you see username, domain, and password?
I think it's just username and password. Yeah, I mean, it was the login page that I always got just to, unlock the computer.
Yeah, I think I found a tech note on it. So you said that your files are missing?
Right, the file folders are missing.
Yeah, Windows made a temporary account for you because it couldn't log into your main account.
That's right.
Basically, it says System File Checker, run your antivirus, and contact your administrator.
Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah. Make a new administrator account, copy your files into it, and then delete the other account you can't log into.
Right.
I've posted that.
We've posted a link to that. The problem is that Microsoft no longer really considers your machine yours.
Huh.
And so you're just a user on your machine, on their machine.
I see.
And so if they feel that you are somehow not properly authorized, and it clearly is not your doing, it's clearly at their end something screwed up.
A registry hit.
A registry hit or whatever. That therefore you're somehow illegal now and you have to be blocked. And so the only way you can do that is to fix that. So you can create a new local account, assuming that that you can log in as the administrator. You can create a new account and do it that way. This is very convoluted, very complex, and I understand that it's very frustrating. Theoretically, this is a security feature that protects your machine from the bad guys, but it thinks you're one of the bad guys.
It assumes everybody's a bad guy, including you, until proven otherwise.
Right.
Yeah.
But
better
Steve
safe than
posted,
sorry.
Right. Steve has posted a link with helpful hints, and really that's as far as you can go. You may have to send a message to Microsoft, which is not that easy.
Restore from backup?
And, of course, restore from backup. But what it likely is a problem in the registry.
Okay.
A program to fix a corrupted user profile. Third party. I don't know if I would trust that.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust that either. But start with the stuff in that post and see where it takes you.
Okay. Now there's one thing that happened before this, which may be relevant. I got a message saying that the battery may need to be replaced. Even though it charges fully.
No. They're talking about a different battery.
Well, no, it's the battery capacity is different from the battery maximum capacity. So your battery capacity could be 100%, but the full charge capacity could be 2%. So that 100% means 5 minutes, where 100% used to mean 8 hours.
Right. The basic idea is that as it gets older, it can't go to 100% anymore. We all know that story.
Yeah. Okay.
So what used to be 100% at 8 hours is now 100% at 5 minutes.
Right. And so if your machine crashed because the power died, the registry could have got corrupted because it didn't shut down properly.
Right.
Oh. Okay. Is there a way to uncorrupt?
Well, that's what this post is all about.
Okay. So I'll check your site then.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
All right. Good luck.
Thanks.
Bye. Yeah, it's one of the things that I've always hated about Microsoft. I've been harping on it for decades now. Is the registry? It's a stupid idea. It's just a plain stupid idea to put all your eggs in one very fragile basket. The way Linux does it and the way the Mac does it is all of the configuration files are separate from each other. So if one of them gets corrupted, it doesn't have any effect on anything else.
That registry gets whacked. Forget it. You're done.
And, of course, every time you install any program, it puts stuff in the registry. So if the programmer made a mistake, You got some third or fourth or fifth or 10th party program that does some cute little thing, and it goes in and screws up the registry, you're done.
Well, that's why we also tell folks to use Revo Uninstaller, too, because, like you say, programs that they muck it up, and folks, well, I'll try reinstalling it. Now it adds more complex code into that registry that's already mucked up.
Yep.
Whereas if you use Revo Uninstaller first to uninstall it properly, that cleans up all the tail ends and that Microsoft neglects to do, because all they do is turn off one bit.
Now that won't help Ed so much because he can't get into his machine, so that's a whole separate issue. But
reinstalling a program almost never fixes the problem that program is having, because it's not the program code, it's the registry entry or the preference files or the options files, and reinstalling the program doesn't change any of that.
Right, and that's one of the reasons that in the preferences folder on a Mac, often deleting the preferences and then restarting the program works. Same thing in Linux. There's wherever it happens to save its preferences.
And that's why we say on Windows uninstall and reinstall, because the uninstaller is supposed to handle that, but often doesn't. So, like Dave said, Revo can uninstall properly.
Right, because preferences are also often kept in the registry, the stupidest place on the planet to put them.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, we had
stop.
Stop. We had somebody text us in and said, "I have a Motorola Aris SBG 69000 router and have checked for firmware updates many times, but there are none been available. What can be done to get updates?"
Get a different router, which is frustrating because Motorola Aris is one of the better brands. Why don't they have updates?
Well, they may have updates, but you don't have access to them. If in fact that Motorola Aris router belongs to, say, Spectrum, and it's just in your home, you may not have the management password to get in and actually access that. But if you do...
If it is one you bought yourself, you should be able to.
The basic point here is that no matter what router you have, you're at the mercy of whoever makes that router.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I have Netgear has a new series of routers out called the Orbis series, and I have one of those, and I'm in love. It's a great router. But I check it every week for updates. And it is possible, to our texter's point, it is possible that because this botnet was just discovered, not every manufacturer has an update out yet.
And you said it was a UPnP a flaw. It's possible the Aris doesn't have UPnP on it.
Right, so it wouldn't need an update.
Right.
Right.
But there have been enough other router flaws that...
Right. But, it's basically using the Broadcom chipset is where the error is. And a billion routers use the Broadcom chipset. Yep. And so you do want to continue. So to our texters and to everybody else, over the next couple of weeks, keep checking for those updates because they may just be a little slow getting out. Let's remember Motorola makes many routers. Netgear makes many routers. D-Link makes many routers.
I actually think Motorola spun out their router division, and Aris is now an independent company.
It might be, but the point is they still make multiple routers.
And they do make routers for ISPs, and that probably has priority.
I would suspect it does, yes. So they're fixing those first. But if your router, and I'm not entirely sure most user manuals talk about what chipset is in them, but if your router has a Broadcom chipset, you should be already seeing over the next week or two an upgrade for that router, an update for that router. So keep checking, keep watching the skies, and see what happens.
And if the router company website has an option to sign up for notification
by all means.
We always hate getting spam, but
that's one you want.
You might want to keep.
Yeah, that's one you want to put on your list, high priority list, to be reminded, and then once it does, actually get it, do it.
Right.
If you have to automatically. Is that something you don't want to? Maybe get that to that later. No, that's something you definitely don't want to put off.
Right. So definitely go do that and keep checking. Like I said, keep watching the skies.
Mm-hmm.
People of Earth, attention. People of Earth, attention. Sorry.
Oh, the new
Mars out on old 50s science fiction movies.
Well, that Mars series just started up again.
Oh yeah. I haven't watched television in forever. I really haven't. I watched something the other day. I watched an episode of Forged in Fire. That's it. That's all I've watched in weeks. I don't know why I'm paying for cable. I'm not watching anything. My wife is.
We don't have a water cooler to talk around anymore.
Well, that's part of it. Yeah. But yeah. So. Also, I wanted to apologize. As we've mentioned many times, every Sunday night we do Sound Bites in Second Life, and I could not get there last week because I had a thing for my students, and many of them were calling me with questions because, it was due at midnight. So.
And they wait to the last minute, you're saying?
Someone waited till just after the last minute.
Do it noon, and then you don't have to stay up so late.
There you
go.
That's my mistake. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
and I was trying to log in, and it kept telling me the grid was offline. I finally got in about 10 of 10, and everyone else had left.
Or never got in because the grid was offline.
Or never got in themselves.
Or if you're going to do midnight, pick Saturday, not Sunday.
Yeah.
That way you can, if they do keep you up on a Saturday, you can get some sleep in and have, Sunday a little time to yourself.
At midnight Pacific.
Yeah. Right.
Oops.
GMT.
That's 3 o'clock in the morning our time, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're up there, aren't you?
I am up there. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Thanks for noticing. But yeah, I don't sleep anymore. But I couldn't, I was talking to students. I couldn't really get anything done. But that's, I suppose, neither here nor there. It'll be a short week this week, Monday classes, and then done for the week because there's no classes Wednesday, no classes Friday for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But there's classes Thursday?
What?
No Wednesday, no Friday, but there must be then Thursday, right?
I don't teach on Thursday, so I don't care what happens then. I teach Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so I only care about Wednesday and Friday this week.
Like me, I got a long weekend because I wound up taking, we got Thursday, Friday off, and Saturday, Sunday, and I thought, make it a long weekend.
Sure.
Because I couldn't take time off during the weekend. That had already been...
Right.
Everybody else had already... I was, well, then I'll take Monday.
Sure.
Still make it a 5-day week, and only use 1 day's vacation.
When I used to work at the computer center, we worked Tuesday to Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So I had Mondays off. I used to love to go shopping on Mondays because you go early on a Monday morning, people are actually happy to see you.
Yeah.
Because you're breaking the monotony. Nobody goes at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning. So you walk into a store and there's people helping you. They're eager to help you.
And people are still happy from the weekend. So
right.
The customers aren't as annoying either.
Right.
The salespeople, yeah.
And so I used to go, like if you're going to go to the DMV Monday morning at 9 a.m., used to be, I'm sure, I don't know now, but it used to be, I used to go in and there'd be like a bunch of people sitting at their desk just staring at me. Pick me. I thought I should toss out roses to everybody. It was
I got a friend that drives just Tuesday through Saturday. He says it's great.
Yep.
He said I plan all my doctor's appointments. If I got to go to the DMV or that, I go on Mondays. Like you said, people are in a good mood. You go in there.
There's not as much traffic. Most people don't do things first thing Monday morning.
He goes, go to a mall. He says, a Monday morning at 9 o'clock. He goes, it's empty.
Yeah.
It's empty. You can go in, do some shopping. If I got to go pick up some jeans, they're waiting around to wait on you.
Now, in these days, with most people shopping on Amazon, I suppose all malls are empty. But back in the day, Monday morning, I'd go into a mall, and it was like a ghost town.
Yeah.
It was Monday morning. You just own the mall.
Yeah.
I read a cute prank. Take your garbage and put it in your old Amazon boxes.
Put it out on your
leave
porch.
them sitting on the porch.
If you want to get rid of stuff in your closet.
Porch pirates.
Yeah, they go. If you want to get rid of stuff in your closet or stuff you can't throw away, just put it in an old Amazon box and put it down your front porch.
Yeah.
They'll take it away for you.
It used to be you wrapped it as a gift and left it on the back seat of your unlocked car.
Yeah.
Now it's just leave it on your porch in an Amazon box. We get a lot of stuff from Amazon, but of course now I'm retired, so I'm home. I'm there to get it, and I sign up for all the alerts from everybody. And
it's amazing though. They say the drivers have gotten paranoid, just kind of watching to see if people are following them.
Yeah. I was getting into my car the other day. I don't remember where I was going, but the guy pulled up and he started to walk toward me. He says, "Is this your house?" I said, "Yes." "Prove it." Showed him my license. He handed me a package.
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
I wasn't upset. I wasn't bothered at all. It was a different guy. We know our UPS driver because he delivers to us. Because of the coffee business, he delivers to us all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So we know him.
Yeah.
This was a different guy. And he made sure that I was somebody who lived at that address.
They got it. Yeah, they got it.
Not a problem.
Now.
I'm happy you did it.
Being an honest, law-abiding citizen, I never would have thought to sit on somebody's porch waiting for a package delivery.
Well, now you know better. You're welcome.
Yeah. So we just don't have that criminal mentality.
Exactly. But yeah, so this is the season. Maybe when we come back, we can talk a little bit about Black Friday and the deals that are coming out.
Yeah, some of that.
That'd be kind of fun. All right. Are you playing music? Am I not hearing that? No? Okay, no music.
Not yet.
Okay.
You still got a few seconds.
I thought I heard you. Well, you were playing with the dial and I can't hear the music, so I thought maybe I just wasn't hearing it. But all right. So we'll come back. If you have something you're interested in buying for on Black Friday, give us a call. 585-966-JAZZ. It's 966-5299. Toll free 1-800-790-0415.
And I'd also like to know whether folks prefer to go fighting in the crowds on Friday or do more shopping on Cyber Monday.
Well, and everybody's got Black Friday deals already up and out. All right, that music tells me that we're done with our first hour. Don't go away. We've got a whole nother hour of this nonsense coming up. I beg your pardon. We'll be back in just a few minutes with Dave Enright, with Steve Ray, with me, Nick Francesco, and with you. It is 59 minutes after the hour. You are listening to the longest-running computer show in the known universe. Holy cow! That must mean you're listening to Sound Bytes right here on the Truly Great. And we continue to be truly grateful to you that we are member-supported every single day. Jazz 90.1. Take a quick bio break, and we will see you on the other side.
Computer talk you can understand. More Sound Bites is next on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
WGMC Greece Rochester, a public service of the Greece Central School District. Jazz 90.1.
On Twitter at 901jazz.
President Trump will be in California today to get a first-hand look at the deadly wildfires that are scorching both ends of the state. Correspondent Sarah Westwood.
The president will be making 2 stops in California as he surveys the damage with Governor Jerry Brown and his newly elected successor. The president is expected to get an update on the response to those fires.
More than 70 people have been killed by the blazes. Hundreds are missing in Northern California, and 300,000 have been evacuated. The president says he'll be briefed today by the intelligence community on the murder of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Correspondent Ben Wiedemann.
Gina Haspel, the director of the CIA, went to Turkey last month and apparently was given those audio recordings that documented the torture, murder, and dismemberment of the Washington Post columnist.
The CIA has concluded that the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia personally ordered the killing. I'm Ann Cates.
Melissa from Michigan. I work an extra part-time job serving lunch at my child's school, but I still can't afford to put food on our table.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Here's another I Love New York travel tip.
Looking for some great holiday gifts that won't break your budget? New York State has just what you need. Factory outlets with fantastic bargains on name brand items at stores owned and operated by the manufacturers. In the Adirondacks, discover fantastic deals for the whole family at the factory outlets of Lake George. Find stylish clothes, gifts, and home furnishings at discount prices at Tanger outlets on Long Island and Riverhead and Deer Park. Waterloo Premium Outlets in the Finger Lakes boasts impressive savings at 100 outlet stores, including Coach, Gap Outlet, Nike, and Polo Ralph Lauren. To discover more factory outlets and other great holiday shopping opportunities in New York State, visit the I Love New York website at iloveny.com. Affordable holiday shopping. Find what you love in New York State.
Sunday nights are Spectrum Sunday nights on Jazz 90.1.
Spectrum Sunday nights.
I'm up every morning with the sun.
Start your evening at 7 with Jim McGrath and the Blues Spectrum, followed by the Soul Jazz Spectrum with Chuck Ingersoll at 9.
Spectrum Sunday nights.
Then The Spectrum with Derek Lucas at 10. From blues to soul jazz to the spirit of jazz, join us Sunday nights starting at 7 for Spectrum Sunday nights, only on Jazz 90.1.
Spectrum Sunday nights.
3, 2, 1. Oh no. Which button am I...
When every second counts, you can't wing it.
Guys, a little help up here?
In a home fire, you may have less than 2 minutes to get out. So make a family home fire escape plan. Then practice home fire drills at least twice a year so everyone knows what to do when they hear. Prepare your family at ready.gov/fire drill. Brought to you by FEMA, the Ad Council, and Make Safe Happen.
Jazz 90.1 is pleased to announce entertainment for our 2019 Jazz Cruises.
I got a mule, her name is Sal, 15 miles on the Erie Canal.
Cruises aboard the Colonial Belle begin Monday, June 10th with Paradigm Shift on board. The Bob Snyder Trio returns for the July 15th sailing. The Bill Tiberio Trio will play our 3-hour Erie Canal Lock Cruise on August 12th, and Steve Grills and the Roadmasters will round out the season with a Blues Cruise on Monday, September 9th. We'll offer a limited Black Friday ticket pre-sale opportunity Thursday, November 22nd through Sunday, November 25th, just in time for the holidays and gift giving. Each cruise includes a light meal on board, cash bar, live entertainment, and a trip aboard the historic Colonial Belle from Fairport. Tickets will only be available online at jazz901.org. So be sure to get yours before the Jazz and Blues Cruises sail without you.
Did you know that Greece Central School District is the only district in Monroe County without lighted athletic fields and one of 2 without synthetic turf fields? The Reimagine Greece proposal would change that by adding a lighted field and synthetic turf playing surfaces at every school. Learn more about the proposed athletic improvements and other project components at greececsd.org, and don't forget to vote on December 4th.
Hi, my name is Jeff Harris. Join me every Sunday, 5 to 7 p.m. for Big Road Blues. Big Road Blues is an exploration of vintage blues from the 1920s on up. Each week we examine different themes and aspects of the blues, playing both classic and forgotten blues greats from the past. That's Big Road Blues every Sunday from 5 to 7 p.m. right here on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Welcome back to America's longest-running computer show, Sound Bytes, on member-supported Jazz 90.1. Get online now. Call 966-JAZZ. That's 966-5299. Toll-free 800-790-0415. Or submit your question by email at soundbytes.org. Once again, here's Nick Francesco, Dave Enright, and Steve Ray on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Nick Francesco.
I'm Dave Enright.
And I'm Steve Ray.
And it's 6 minutes after the hour. We are Sound Bytes. We're hurtling headlong into the second hour of Sound Bytes, and I thought we might talk
Turkey Day?
Well, a little bit about the sales
after Turkey Day
that will be going on. Well, they started already. Depending on where you go, the Black Friday sales are already happening. So,
Christmas decorations were up before that ticked me off before Halloween was even over.
Yeah.
No.
Well, retailers don't make money on Halloween and Christmas. Not much. I mean, on Halloween and Thanksgiving.
Candy.
What?
Only if you sell candy.
Only if you sell candy. So Black Friday deals are already out there, certainly for a lot of consumer electronic devices. The Amazon Echo and Echo Dot, Google Home and Home Mini, the doorbell, various doorbell things.
Yeah. Holy crap.
I still like that one for Google, and the guy calls his sister. And he goes, happy birthday!
The plants.
She goes, what'd you get me?
No, that's a Facebook portal.
That's the Facebook portal.
Because it has a motor in it, but they don't say that in the commercial. As he's walking, the camera turns to follow him.
Right.
Which is really, really
But
creepy.
it's still a good punchline. She goes, so what'd you get me? And he looks around and he grabs this half-dead plant, and she goes, but it's half-dead. He goes, yeah, just like you.
Yeah. The Google.
I love that one.
The Google, whatever they call it, their screen does not have a camera in it.
Right.
But the Facebook one, I wouldn't get the Facebook one with a gun to my head, frankly.
And the Amazon Echo Show has a camera.
The Amazon Echo Show has a camera.
One of their early intents was that you put it in your bedroom and it can critique your outfit every morning. Yes.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
I'm going to put a camera in my bedroom. Yes.
Right. That pretty much anyone on Earth can call if they just know the information. Yeah, no.
I just found a 65-inch 4K smart TV for $398.
Yeah. It was 720p?
4K.
4K?
4K 65-inch.
Yeah.
I need that.
Yeah, you do need that. You clearly need that. You're going to have to put it in the neighbor's house in order to see it clearly. But
because my 55 is small now.
It is small. It's tiny. You need that extra 10 inches.
Well, one of the things to keep in mind is that you need to have done your homework and shopping for prices, because a lot of times the Black Friday deals aren't really a deal.
Yeah. Right.
It's definitely shopper beware.
Yeah.
Right. And many of us are waiting to see what new products are coming out after, October, toward the end of November, and what the deals will be in January.
CES in January.
What?
Yeah.
CES coming in January to show us all the toys for next Christmas.
Right. All right, to the phones. Our next caller is Don from Rush, New York. Hiya, Don. What's up?
Hi. I have a Chromebook, a pretty new Chromebook, and I'm working into a Brother laser printer.
Yeah.
And suddenly, after changing the cartridge, the black cartridge in the printer, my Chromebook doesn't recognize the presence of the printer.
Is the printer saying that it's online or offline?
Says it's online.
Okay, now tell me a little more about this Brother laser printer. Is it connected via wireless?
Wireless, yeah, Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Bluetooth?
Yeah.
That's unusual.
That is very unusual.
Yeah.
Most printers are Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
When I go to print something, it says printer has been offline for more than 2 weeks.
Yeah, what that sounds like is it's not Bluetooth, but it's wireless.
Yeah.
And that it has gotten a different address when you turned it off.
Okay.
And then turned it back on again. It got a different address. So the Chromebook is looking for a printer
on a certain address
on your network at a different address than it now has.
Okay.
So the thing to do is to set it up as if it were a new printer.
Yeah, delete it.
Delete the printer that you've got set up.
Okay.
And redo it again.
Yeah, find it, because it's probably given it a whole different IP address.
Right.
Okay. All right. I'll give that a try.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's gonna
that
should
do it.
Okay. All right. Thanks very much.
All right. Good luck.
Yep. Bye.
Yep. Yeah, Chromebooks and printers have gotten pretty amazing with each other, pretty much. Brian's having trouble, but everybody else is doing pretty well. Sorry, Brian.
Why do you want to print anyway?
Right. But yeah, it's getting fairly easy. A friend of mine helped a friend of his set up her printer, and she couldn't quite do anything, so she was having trouble in Windows, so he just logged in. He just added her printer on his Chromebook over the internet from across the city.
Yeah.
And printed and proved it was Windows that was the problem.
Yeah.
And not the printer. So it can be done. It's pretty easy stuff.
That was so easy. Well, we got a new HP all-in-one because Sandy had to do some scanning and all that type of stuff. And I just hooked her up wirelessly. And that's great because even my Chromebook, boom, just found it. I'm printing off to it and made life a lot easier than not having to get under the desk.
And can you scan to it? Scan from it? Can't scan with
I
it?
haven't tried that yet.
Do me a favor and do that, because that's what Brian's problem is, and I have gotten over at his house yet, and I apologize.
All right, I'll try doing it this week.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, because we just got it, and like I said, because the other one we had, I could not get it to work. You know, I put new cartridges into the old one, and it just kept giving me error, and I tried all the fixes and everything else, and I said, hell with it.
Yeah, right, at that point.
Cheaper to go out and buy another one than what it was going to cost me to get this other one fixed.
We're seeing that a lot now, that most of printers come with ink or toner built in, and quite often to replace all 4 cartridges is more than the printer was, because it was so cheap to begin with.
Well, a lot of them nowadays, so you go there and they've got a year's worth or 2 years worth of ink.
They want to get you into the subscription plan for your ink, so that they get a guaranteed income.
Right.
So some of them, what was the one? Xerox had a plan for a while where you get free black ink every time you buy color.
Nice.
Which, of course, we knew meant that the color ink subsidized the cost of the black. But,
right. Yeah, and so all they do is jack the price of the color ink just a couple bucks.
It was their way to try to get you into a color printer that you may not have thought about, because the black ink would be free.
Right. Mm-hmm. All right, back to the phones. Our next caller is Don from Riga, New York. Don, what's up?
Well, I got an older PC. It's a HP. It's on Windows 7, and it freezes up constantly. I know it's old, but I just wonder if there's anything I can do to maybe get it back working again. I don't have anything really critical on it, but it'd be nice to get it working again. I got my phone and everything for what I need, but I don't know what to do next. I'd like to try to fix it myself. Can I buy a Windows 10 CD and try to reinstall the operating system or something?
Well, it depends on how old your HP printer is, and how much RAM it has. Your HP computer is, and how much RAM it has, and how big the hard drive is, and et cetera, et cetera.
Is it a desktop or a laptop?
That's desktop.
Well, then, when's the last time it's been cleaned out?
I tried cleaning it out kind of regularly, but it just locks up.
No, physically cleaned.
No, physically cleaned out.
Physically cleaned, not in a long time.
Yeah, you might want to check. Unplug everything. Shut it off. Unplug it, and excuse me. Take the side cover off and make sure that the fans, say on the if you have a video card, that there's usually a little fan on that's still working properly. The fan on the CPU is not all clogged up, because if the desktop has been sitting down on the floor, it's like a huge vacuum cleaner. And what I mean by that is it sucks in a lot of the dirt to the front, and it goes out the back through the power supply. And if you're fortunate enough, a little fan unit off the back. So you got all this dirt moving through there. Just regular dust.
Particularly if you have pets or you smoke.
Yep. So you might want to, check that out.
The other thing is, when you do that, don't use a vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
That's very bad for your system. It creates so much static, it can kill everything. But you can, and don't use. Everybody, listen to this. Swiffers. Don't use them.
Okay.
They're the worst, because they leave an oily film on everything, and that just, on computer components, that's a horrible thing. So, but you can dust it. You can sweep it out with your hand.
You can also use. I've used Can Air, but with the stipulation that it's got to be a good 6 to 12 inches away from the case. You don't want it right in there, right on the components.
Sure.
Because there is moisture in that can. But if you have it a good 6 inches away from the motherboard and just aim it at there, that'll blow, loosen up most dust and dirt. Do it outside. Take it outside for a minute when it's not snowing, and just take a can of compressed air and just lightly blow it out.
Okay. That's worth a shot, I guess.
Yeah.
Huh.
And you don't need to buy a Windows 10 CD. You can download it you download an image from Microsoft.
If I can get it to work enough to download it, that's the thing.
Well, yeah, you mean on another computer.
Right.
Download it, and then you can image it to a flash drive.
The other question, of course, is how old is this machine?
I'm thinking 10 or 12 years.
Ouch! Don't do Windows 10.
That's what I'm saying. Don't.
No. That's a waste of money and time.
It's just a waste of your time. Don't do it. The reality is that machine honestly owes you nothing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And if you thought it was working slow now,
try upgrading to 10.
Do it to 10.
No, you're really at the point where the hard drive is going to go, components are going to die. That may be what's happening here.
Okay.
So you
time
can
time for new computers.
It's time.
Well, depending on what you're going to do with it. Also, you hear us talk all the time about Chromebooks. Look into a Chromebook.
I don't really use the computer that much, really, but a Chromebook is the way to go, you're thinking?
Well, Chromebook, like you said, if you're not using it much, you're just getting on the internet to do a little surfing, maybe send some emails and that type of stuff. A Chromebook is the way to go. You're only going to spend, a couple $100. You're going to have an operating system that won't get infected, doesn't get spyware, doesn't get malware, and you don't pay for an operating system.
Wow.
It just goes. You open it up, you click on the Chrome icon, boom, you're there surfing the internet. You could set up your Gmail account. You can store photos free of charge up onto the cloud. It comes with a more or less like Microsoft Office. You can get a word processor, spreadsheet, and all that for free with Google Docs.
That sounds like maybe be a plan. Well, okay. Well, thank you. I think I got a good start on this then. Okay.
All right.
All right. Good luck.
Yep. Bye.
In general,
if he does want to download something, he could try Cloud Ready, Neverwhere.
Cloud Ready's Neverwhere on a 10-year-old machine, maybe. Yeah, 2 gigs of RAM, but other than that, yeah. The big thing is, unless you have a very specialized program that requires Windows or Mac or whatever, right? Unless you have one of those, 99.9% of everybody could live very comfortably on a Chromebook, a Chromebox, a Chrome, whatever the other one is called. And so, again, you can do all of your office stuff, all of your surfing, all of your email, all of everything on one of those and be perfectly happy and save a bucket load of cash. And
not have to worry about spyware.
And you don't have to worry about spyware, malware, or any of that other stuff. I told you. I think I said this last week. I actually know a guy who did get have an issue with his Chromebook. Every time he went to Google and put something in, it took him to a different site. It turns out he downloaded a shady app, and in the installation of that shady app, it said, "Do you want to also install something else?"
And he didn't take the time to read it.
And he didn't read it, and he said, "Yes, I want to install that," and it changed everything in his system to go to this place.
He gave him control. He gave him control. He essentially created the issue.
No computer, including a Chromebook, can protect you from yourself.
Right.
You can still continue to do things that are not good, but you have to go and do them.
Like I used to say,
error.
Right.
Like used to say a long time ago, we got click happy. You just get too click happy. You're getting in there. And yeah. You're just clicking yes. You're not taking the time to read what you're installing. And you could be installing all these other add-ons and features, And toolbars.
That's right.
Oh, I remember one time I had one client. I bet you I removed at least 8 to 10 toolbars.
I once worked with a guy who had one line of text on his browser.
I believe it.
Everything else was
toolbars. Yeah, because each one wanted to add their own. And
I said, well, we can get rid of all these toolbars. Oh, no, but I need them. For what? For example, on this toolbar, what do you use? It's gone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to actually sit there and remember the last
and they
time
can't
you
even
clicked on
think of
something.
it. Yeah.
But the message said I needed it.
Yeah.
Right.
Or the other phrase is, I don't know how that got there.
Yeah, right. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, it just appeared. No, you
really
agreed to it.
Right, you agreed.
No, I didn't. Yes, you did. Trust me.
Yeah.
We hear that a lot, too. Both Windows and Mac are trying to get you to auto-update all the time because it's better for the developers.
Right.
And we've had a rash of people getting the new Mojave upgrade inadvertently and having problems with it. Like every new OS, there can be problems. And we're telling them, read the messages. Don't let it auto-update. When it asks to auto-update, say no.
Right. But people don't. It's just, this is in my way.
Yep.
I'm on my favorite humorous site.
And the alternative is that they've never update. A customer comes in and they haven't run any updates in the last 5 years.
Right.
Why isn't my thing working? Well, because you haven't run any updates in 5 years.
Right.
As it turns out, you need to have an update installed.
Oops.
And it may take 4 or 5 hours because there's 5 years of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, back to the phones. Our next caller is Tim from Webster, New York. Hiya, Tim. What's up?
Yeah, hi, guys. It seems to me that if Microsoft is intent on going to a subscription type of service, shouldn't they, considering all the data losses with the updates and stuff, shouldn't they perhaps take on more liability if they're going to make everyone pay every year?
Yes, they should.
Yes. The other thing, but they certainly should. You're absolutely right.
They should, but will they?
It's your responsibility to have a backup.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
don't. It's not something you must have. Right. Nobody's holding a gun to your head and saying you must run Windows.
Right.
So you accept that you want to run Windows, and therefore you accept the responsibility, and therefore you accept the liability.
So what I really want, and I think a huge number of people really want, but we don't know how to do, is to switch over to that other platform, the Mint and all that,
Ubuntu and various forms of Linux. Absolutely right. I completely agree with you. Most people, honestly, most people don't need more than a Chromebook. But if you want to run Ubuntu, it's very easy to do. And in fact, nowadays, when you install... you can download an image for Ubuntu and burn a CD and all of that stuff and go to install it. And one of the things it will do is ask you if you want a dual boot. And it will then say, how much of your hard drive, you've got 70% of your hard drive is empty. How much of it do you want to give to Ubuntu? And then when you start up, you'll have a choice. You get a little menu that says it's a text menu, not a graphic menu. You get a little menu that says, Ubuntu or Windows, and then you arrow up and down and pick one. So you can run both simultaneously. It seems to me that in general, playing around with Linux for a month, couple of months maybe, you'll discover there's nothing you can't do.
Right.
And you'll find that it gets easier and easier and easier. So the question becomes, how do you get started? Well, one of the things that you can do is there is the RCSI, Rochester Computer Society Incorporated, has a SIG. And there's SIGs and the Linux SIG. There we are. The third Saturday of every month, from noon to 4, is the Linux SIG. They meet at Interlock, Rochester, which is at 1115 East Main Street at Goodman. The Hungerford Building, door number 7, suite 200, which is, of course, upstairs. If you've got a laptop, bring it with you, and you'll be able to go talk to them about Linux, see what it does, how it works, and all of that stuff. There's also a user group called Lugor, but I haven't seen an update from them for ever. I think I haven't seen anything in a year more.
Okay.
But so at any rate, is this the third Saturday?
Second or third. Yeah.
Yes, it is. This is the third Saturday of the month. So right now, even as we speak, until 4 o'clock, is the Linux SIG at Interlock, Rochester, 1115 East Main Street at Goodman. Hungerford Building, door number 7, suite 200. And you can just go. Just don't even if you don't want to bring your computer, just go and talk to them. I'm sure that Carl Schmidtman is the guy who's running that SIG, that special interest group.
They may be at Maker Faire, which is today also.
Oh, today is Maker Faire.
Yeah.
Can I ask one more question unrelated?
Yeah.
Okay. I was on Spectrum, been on Spectrum for over a year now, internet and telephone.
Yeah. And
they changed that introductory rate, so I was considering getting rid of the phone and going just to the internet, which wouldn't be $50, but it'd be $65. And I haven't had good experience with Frontier, unfortunately, and I can't get green light. Do I have any other options?
Satellite.
Yeah, they're not.
Which isn't really an option
yeah,
either.
No.
Yeah.
The short answer is no yet. There are there's another cable company in town who's just starting up, and I apologize that I don't have the name in my head. There's
a wireless company coming in, too.
There's a wireless company coming in as well. But the basic point here is no, not really.
Okay. It wouldn't be considered. I won't go off on a rant on this, but it's not a monopoly because there's Frontier to choose from too, and that, right?
Yeah,
so
that's the theory. The other thing you want to be aware of is you better check with them. You may not be able to get an introductory rate because you're already a customer.
From Spectrum.
From Spectrum.
I didn't expect that. That's why I was looking for someone else, and I feel stuck.
One of the tricks that we've heard of people doing is if you have a spouse, you cancel your service or have them call up and cancel the service to put it in their name, and then they get the introductory rate because they're a new customer. And if they ask about you, have your spouse say, I kicked him out.
So I was going to ask you that. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
Okay,
or the other thing is
thanks for your time, guys. I appreciate everything you guys are doing over there. Happy Thanksgiving.
And you too. Thanks.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Cancel for a couple of months, and then you're a new customer again.
Maybe.
Well, unless you're a returning customer. Sometimes you have to argue.
All right, we have to take a quick break. Back in just a couple of minutes. Dave Enright, Steve Ray, me, Nick Francesco, and you. 29 minutes after the hour. Soundbites, member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at soundbites.org. More with Nick Francesco, Dave Enright, and Steve Ray next on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Here in the Greece Central School District, making schools safer is a priority. The capital project proposal school district residents will be voting on December 4th includes safety enhancements like the addition of double-entry vestibules in every school's main entrance. This added layer of security is one of a number of priority projects outlined in the plan to bring important updates to Greece facilities. You can learn more about the Reimagine Greece proposal at greececsd.org, and don't forget to vote on December 4th.
Jazz 90.1 is supported in part by our members and by Arbor at the Port, Saturday, December 1st at 7 p.m. Arbor at the Port is teaming up with the Eastman Jazz Lab Band and Groove Juice Swing for a Winter Caper, a night of swing, big band music, and pre-prohibition cocktails, featuring a 17-piece big band. For more information, you may visit arborvenues.com/Winter Caper.
Let's talk about America. Not taxes or tweets or the issues that divide us, but how incredible our country is. Whether you come home to a crowded city street or sleepy small town, everyone deserves to live in a clean, green, and thriving community. We are Keep America Beautiful, the nonprofit working with millions of people like you to end littering, improve recycling, and beautify communities. Learn more at kab.org. Together, we can do beautiful things.
Hi, my name is Jeff Harris. Join me every Sunday, 5 to 7 p.m. for Big Road Blues. Big Road Blues is an exploration of vintage blues from the 1920s on up. Each week we examine different themes and aspects of the blues, playing both classic and forgotten blues greats from the past. That's Big Road Blues every Sunday from 5 to 7 p.m. right here on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Opiates has taken everything and everyone I've ever loved away from me. Everything.
I blew my ankle out and I got prescribed pain pills by my doctor.
If making my detox public is going to help somebody, I'm all for it. I just wish I would have had a warning.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth. A message from Truth, the Ad Council, and ONDCP.
Sunday nights are Spectrum Sunday nights on Jazz 90.1.
Spectrum Sunday nights.
I'm up every morning with the sun.
Start your evening at 7 with Jim McGrath and the Blues Spectrum, followed by the Soul Jazz Spectrum with Chuck Ankersall at 9.
Spectrum Sunday nights.
Then the Spectrum with Derek Lucas at 10. From blues to soul jazz to the spirit of jazz. Join us Sunday nights starting at 7 for Spectrum Sunday nights only on Jazz 90.1.
Spectrum Sunday nights.
Has your child swallowed your medicine, your laundry detergent, your nail polish remover? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you inhaled paint thinner, glue, pesticides? Call the Poison Helpline. Have a question about a dose, a fume, something your kid just drank? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Jazz 90.1 weather.
A fairly quiet Saturday across Rochester, western New York, and the Finger Lakes, with a mostly cloudy sky. Could see a few snow flurries developing, especially into the latter part of the afternoon, mainly southwest of Rochester. The high temperature in the upper 30s. Tonight's cloudy, with a shower of rain or wet snow around early on, the overnight low in the mid-20s. We'll look for a mostly cloudy sky on Sunday as well. A little bit chillier, the wind out of the west, with a flurry or two around, the high in the mid-30s. I'm meteorologist Josh Nichols for Jazz 90.1.
Currently, we've got overcast skies, 37 degrees out at the airport, and 39 here at member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Everybody get up.
Hi, I'm Joelle Van Buren. Please join me every weekday morning from 7 till 10 here on members-supported Jazz 90.1.
Everybody get up. Everybody sit down. Everybody take out your wallet. Oh, welcome back, everybody. I'm Nick Francesco.
I'm Dave Enright.
And I'm Steve Ray.
And at 35 minutes after the hour, we are Sound Bytes. And we have Doug from somewhere in the wilds of Iowa. What city are you calling from, Doug?
Calling from the city of Indianola, which is just south of the capital of Des Moines.
Ah, very exciting. And how are things in Iowa these days?
Well, we don't have the snow that you've got. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Well, in that case, I'll be right
fine,
over.
Thank you.
What can we do for you, Doug?
Well, we tried to set up with my 10-year-old MacBook to do a hangout session with some of my kids who live in other states, and the old Mac simply does not have the resolution to hang in there. So I heard you talking about the Chromebook here just a little bit ago.
Yeah.
And how basic it was, and I'm wondering, is it basic enough, or does it have enough firepower to run Skype or Hangout or something like that?
Well, yes and no.
Okay. All right.
Are you currently using Hangouts now?
We did. My son brought in a newer PC unit, and of course that works just fine and lovely. But so we just use the Hangout at holidays and special occasions to bring the family together over the miles.
Right. Yes. Okay. So Hangouts is a product by Google.
Right.
The Chromebook is a product by Google.
Right.
Yes, they work together.
Fantastic.
They work together pretty well. I mean, it depends. Okay. Yeah. Obviously, you want a slightly higher grade Chromebook, right? Because the $150 Chromebooks may not quite be powerful enough to get good video. So you want a $250, $300 Chromebook. You want one with a good.
I can interrupt you briefly there and say that we are casting onto a Sony 65-inch TV. The video quality or the picture quality on the screen doesn't make any difference. We're essentially looking for the processor, if you will.
Right. So yeah, you can get fairly decent processors at the higher end of a Chromebook. They come with HDMI, so if you're connecting to the television via HDMI, you're golden.
Yeah.
And particularly if you buy one of the higher end ones that comes with, say, 4 gig of RAM and an actual Intel processor, you'll be fine.
You'll be delighted with it.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get by on the when you mentioned the not too much money. I was hoping to kind of slide in, at less money than a new.
Yeah, but down the road, though, it's going to save you money because, again, you're not paying for an operating system. You don't have to worry about spyware. You don't have to worry about malware. It's literally maintenance free. It does its updates at night. You have it. You can turn it on in the morning and says, "Oh yeah, I did an update over the night while you were sleeping."
I like that.
Yeah, and again, Windows is going to a subscription, so you're going to pay yearly. And what you would pay for a new system there versus a Chromebook, which is totally maintenance free.
And the other option is a tablet rather than a full computer. Even the iPad for $329 has more than enough oomph to do video conferencing.
And you can buy an adapter to plug that into HDMI.
Yeah.
If you want I was told that the tablets did not have the processing power to handle
It depends on a lot of things. A lower end tablet may not. So again, you're looking at something a little higher end, but
especially in the Android world. In the Apple world, they all can.
Right.
In fact,
in other words, I need to set my sights just a little higher.
Yeah. Okay. But a Chromebook would be just fine. And the new Chromebooks are out, and certainly with Black Friday,
the Christmas
right
season,
the corner.
That's around the corner.
Yep.
So, they're all going to be biting for your dollar.
Right. So, for example, Dell has one with a. What you really want is a higher end processor, like the Core. The Intel Core i3 or higher processor. So you're looking at something in the $400, $500 range.
I can stay on that.
Yeah, there you go. So that'll do it. And depending on the model you get, you may need to buy an adapter just as you would with an iPad to connect it to HDMI. But you can certainly do it. It's just a matter of which
gives me an alternative path to what I'm doing now.
Right.
There you go.
So the thing to do is to go to google.com/Chromebook.
Okay.
And
I can do that.
And you can list all of the machines, all of the screen sizes.
Do your homework.
They start with the high-end one, so don't get excited at the $1,000 price for the Google Pixel Book. But if you scroll down a ways, you start getting to the things that are a little more reasonable.
Yes. Well, fantastic. Well, I'll throw in that I'm a native of Avon, New York.
There you go.
Sweet.
So I'm a transplant, and my relatives, if you go way back, were the Rockcastle family with Rockcastle Florist.
Oh yeah,
sure.
And I think the property that you're on was owned by the Rockcastle family at one time on Maiden Lane.
It may well have been.
Yeah.
Let's all sing three choruses of Kumbaya and It's a Small World After All.
Yeah.
Right, and remember, your job is to make sure that other people in Indianola, Iowa, start listening to Sound Bites.
Spread the word, please.
Fantastic.
There you go.
Fantastic. You put through an excellent signal online.
There you go. Thanks,
thank you.
Doug.
Very good. Thanks, guys.
You
Appreciate
have
it.
a good Thanksgiving.
Have fun.
Will do. Same to you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. There's our, we got our Iowa connection now. And they have no snow. Maybe we should go visit Doug. Road trip. Doug, we're on our way. And yeah, it's related to the Rockcastles. Yeah, nice people. But yeah, you can find, if google.com/Chromebook, and you will find bunches and bunches of Chromebooks that are available. And you can see all the specifications and all the prices, and of course the specifications and the prices. The specifications remain the same, but prices change as we approach Black Friday. So be aware that that's coming. And yeah, MacBook is a great machine, but a 10-year-old MacBook, it may not be the machine you want to be using to spend time with your grandkids.
And we are seeing a lot of people replacing old computers with new tablets.
Right.
And it's crazy how much faster a new tablet is than an old computer.
Yes, and depending on what you want to do, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It can be it's typing. I wouldn't want to do typing on one, but for other stuff, absolutely. All right, back to the phones. Our next caller is Larry from Spencerport, New York. What's up, Larry?
I have a question about switching to Linux.
Yeah.
I've switched 5 different computers from Windows to Linux, and no problems on them. Except an interesting thing is all 5 had Windows 10 on them, but 3 of them were originally Windows 7 and updated to 10. Those I had no problems with, but the ones that came with Windows 10, the Wi-Fi wouldn't work. I would have to use a dongle to get Wi-Fi on them.
Yep. That it depends on the brand, and it depends on it depends on the manufacturer, which is the same thing. So here's the deal: in order to save money, many of the lower end laptops use a chipset that requires Windows files.
Oh, I see.
To work. You can, with a bunch of fiddling, sometimes get Linux to work with them, but it's not easy and it's not convenient. It's a lot easier time and keeping your hair wise to just buy the dongle.
Okay, I thought maybe there was some other easy workaround, but the dongles are working fine. But it was just a curiosity on that.
Right, and that's the reason they've cheaped out.
Okay.
Microsoft obviously subsidizes those.
Yes. Okay.
So that makes sense, but it's it's a cheaper way to go for the manufacturer. Not that you save any money.
Yes. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, Larry.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, we have clearly started. It's been 10 years now. We've been seeing the days when lots of manufacturers are using proprietary chipsets that require Windows code, and where possible, of course, Linux people have reverse engineered that code, but it doesn't. But not always, and sometimes how can I put this politely? Sometimes when you query the part programmatically, it lies as to what it is. And so Linux doesn't install the proper set of drivers, and then installing them becomes more of a pain. But it's easy to just buy a dongle that does it. I told you I was very impressed. A couple of weeks ago, I found speaking of dongles, I found a dongle that converted USB to Ethernet. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, okay, that's great, but I'm sure I'm going to have to install a driver. It's not going to work on my Chromebook.
Yeah.
Absolutely not going to work.
And
Plugged it in, bang.
It did.
Worked like a top. Right out of the box. took a second to whoop and whir, and then all of a sudden, here we are.
Well, like anything else, it takes a minute or two for it to discover. Hey.
I was
pleasantly surprised.
I was highly impressed. I should read this news story as well. Apple has confirmed that under a recently revised repair process, only certain authorized replacement parts will work in a T2-equipped machine. Specifically, when critical hardware like a Touch ID module or logic board is replaced, the T2 chip renders Mac inoperable until the repair facility runs a piece of special diagnostic software. Apple would not confirm which products or repairs the new policy affects, nor would it say when the procedure was first implemented. Word of the revised policy surfaced in October, a month after Apple circulated a document to authorized service providers detailing a modified repair procedure that requires proprietary system configuration software, and system configuration is in quotes, to be run after certain hardware components are replaced. The software, called Apple Service Toolkit 2, works in conjunction with the T2 security chip and includes a Mac resource inspector and tools that examine a variety of computer systems, including memory, display, power adapters, and cooling system. Importantly, the toolkit is restricted to authorized personnel who have access to Apple's Global Service Exchange network. Apple's new process makes it exceedingly difficult, or in some cases impossible, for consumers to have their machines repaired by third parties. This poses a problem for people who do not live near an Apple store and rely on third-party repair shops to get their equipment fixed in a timely manner. Now, I should point out that if you are an authorized Apple reseller, an authorized Apple dealer, then you do have access to these things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that,
And I've been going through the stupid training all week.
You've been going through the stupid training all week. So, when you have an authorized Apple an Apple store or an authorized Apple dealer, then they do have access to all this stuff, so they can do the repairs legitimately. But if you don't live near an Apple store or a third party, an authorized reseller, an authorized dealer, you have to rely on third-party repair shops, and it doesn't work for them. The protocol has renewed suspicions of planned obsolescence, and more directly, a potential play at right-to-repair legislation being readied in a number of U.S. states. Advocates of the latter are already speculating as to why Apple instituted the T2-based protocol. It's very possible the goal is to exert more control over who can perform repairs by limiting access to parts, said iFixit's CEO Kyle Wiens, I think. Wiens. This could be an attempt to grab more market share from the independent repair providers, or it could be a threat to keep their authorized network in line. We just don't know. Now, of course, Kyle Wiens runs iFixit, which is a unauthorized repair facility. So take what he says with a grain of salt.
Sells manuals and
tools, right. So early last month, the repair specialist tested the T2 repair procedure by swapping out the display and logic board on one 13-inch MacBook Pro with another, finding neither replacement part rendered the machine unusable, but it was authorized parts swapped with authorized parts. Display replacement does not require use of the AST2. Apple confirmed, though it is unclear why iFixit was able to swap out logic boards, but they were the same. They were both legit logic boards. The T2 coprocessor serves a variety of functions, including the always-on Hey Siri functionality on the new MacBook Air.
You just turned down about 50,000.
I apologize. Preventing ne'er-do-wells from accessing the microphone when the computer is off, securing touch sensor ID, and storing cryptographic keys used in the secure boot process. Apple has included T2 in several Macs to date, the new Mac Mini, MacBook Air, and iMac Pro, and is expected to continue rolling out the chip as new models are released. So do you worry about being locked into a repair facility? Give us a call, 585-966-JAZZ. It's 966-5299. Toll free 1-800-790-0415.
Just go, hey Siri, tune on Sound Bytes.
Yeah, right. There you go. I told you we had years ago when class was ended, a bunch of students would stand up and immediately click on their iPhones. You hear that bing for Siri, that little noise it makes, and somebody in the back row would always yell out, "Hey Siri, call mom."
Because you can't hang up on mom.
Yeah, right. It's like 10 kids in the front row going, "Mom, no, I butt dialed. It's not. I'm fine. Everything. I know. I don't call. Listen, Mom, I gotta go. I got a class. No, it's a butt dial.
That's one thing that's gone away.
What?
Butt dialing.
Well, not entirely, no.
Well, and my boss just did that the other day to me. And to dial on a smartphone, you got to wake it up. You have to swipe to unlock or look at the face or touch the ID. Go into your phone app and hit contacts. And
yeah.
Even if you hit redial, that's still 2 or 3 steps.
Yep.
But you can still how do you butt dial now?
You have a very
articulated
talented butt.
Yeah.
I haven't butt dialed since my old flip phone.
Yeah. Well, what part of the problem is, some people don't close their phones, right? When you finish with a call, you hang up and it goes back to the main screen.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of then hitting the power button so that it shuts the screen off, they just stick it in their pocket. And the act of doing that can initiate all kinds of things.
Yeah.
I actually did that one day, and the next thing I knew, when I woke up the next morning, I was my phone said I was somewhere in some island in the middle of the Pacific, because somehow I had hit the clock app and changed my location.
Yeah.
I don't know how I did it.
At least it didn't dial somewhere in the Pacific.
Well,
and be on all night.
Hello?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so you can do that. But yeah, so in terms of authorized resellers, we have several in our area, and those are the ones that it certainly is a good idea to take your computer to, and you will find that they can do all those repairs even with the T2 chip, and that's the way that works. So you want to be very careful.
It's part of the security model and the secure enclave, so that the bad guys can't take your phone, put someone else's screen on it, and get all your data.
Right.
Because it's tied to your fingerprint and on your touch button.
Right.
But as usual, the added security is decreased convenience.
Which is why so many
cases,
people don't lock their phones.
Yep.
And they don't have a password on their computer.
Well, and I hear all the time, no one wants to steal my stuff. No, not you specifically, but anybody who's not them is a level of anonymity to do bad things with.
Right. Do you have a credit card? They want to steal it. They don't care if there's any information on it at all. They will sell it along for $1, $5.
Yep.
And they make
multiple
money.
Times.
And it gets sold multiple times to multiple people, and they make $1 or $5 every single time. And they make 10 cents every day. They don't care. They get 1 million. They get 1 million of these things through botnets and stuff. And so that makes or
even if they just get in there and steal your email list.
Right.
All those contacts now, they can sell those. That's how they make the money.
Or they just want to add you to a botnet.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they make their money.
And then when the police track down the bad guy, it's you, because
that's right.
That's the identity they stole.
That's exactly right. So you do want to be very careful as to how and where you leave your system unlocked. And I know it's so difficult to type in a password when you start up your machine. But it's safer. It's certainly better in terms of your security. So get in the habit of doing it. It doesn't take much. One of the things that I've done is I have an Android watch, and so I have linked my phone to my watch. So as long as I am wearing my watch, my phone is unlocked.
Yep.
But if you get far enough away from me with my phone, it locks. All right, that music tells me that we are done for another week. I want to thank Dave Enright. I want to thank Steve Ray. I'm Nick Francesco. You've spent the last 2 hours of your life listening to Sound Bytes right here on the truly great and truly member-supported Jazz 90.1. But do not go away. George is coming in to play the best German music you will hear all week. Michael is here to keep him on the straight and narrow, so you'll be mostly safe. Mostly safe. You never know. George is wild. George is a wild man. So we'll see. But other than that, we're good. And we will be back next week with a whole lot more of Sound Bytes right here on the Truly Grateful to You that we remain member-supported with your generous help. Jazz 90.1. And we will see you in just 166 hours.
On December 4th, Greece residents have the opportunity to vote on a capital improvement project designed to reshape the future of the Greece Central School District. Reimagine Greece would bring repairs and renovations to all 17 school buildings, fund the construction of a new shared facility for transportation and support services, and upgrade